Namaskar. There are some people in the world who want to keep control over you. Have you realized, have you met these kinds of people? And they do it in such a subtle manner that you really don't realize. This is the most dangerous category. If you have a Hitler in front of you who is a tyrant, you actually come to know. But what about the people who act as tyrants in your life without you coming to know about it in a very apparent manner? You need to use your smartness. First of all, if somebody wants you to approach that person again and again and again, that means it's a kind of manipulation. Second, somebody gets hold on to your weakness. What kind of a character you like? What kind of a behavior you like? What is your demand? And that person keeps supplying that. For example, if a young lady is very fond of a very smart looking guy, the other person who is dealing with her, he would try to act smart. He may not be actually, but would try his maximum level possible to cater to the demands of that female in such a manner that she would get influenced. Have you met these kinds of characters? And then would slowly and steadily try to manipulate you. That person would not take the initiative. The person would wait for your initiative, for you to make efforts towards building a relationship with that person. This could happen in a love relationship, this could happen in friendship also. So, the first and the most important thing is make a two-way reciprocal relationship as your priority. If you feel that you're the first and the only person, the first and the last person to keep giving in the relationship, and there's nothing that's coming to you, I would like to say that please stop. And if that is being done under the pretext of not having time, it's not possible. Anyone who cares for you will take time out for you. That is for sure. If that individual is not taking time out for you, that means that individual does not care. That individual is making you a chaser. And I am very fond of talking about this category, this subject matter itself, the runner and the chaser, because I have experienced it. I wouldn't say that I have been the chaser, but I would definitely say that there was a point of time in my life where I actually thought people cared, when they in reality did not. And then that created a lot of chaos in my life. It was in family, it was in friendship, it was in many other kinds of relationship that were supposedly going to start, but they never did start because of this problem. Then I came to realize that people are trying to rule over me, taming a shoe. They have considered me a shoe and they are trying to tame me because they cannot withstand my insurmountable energy. If it's particularly about a boy and girl, let me tell you very clearly, if the woman is smart, it's going to be a lot of problems with the man. It's not very easy for the man to withstand the invincible energy of the woman. If she's smart, if she's intelligent, if she's educated, the first thing that that man is going to do is self-sabotaging. I don't care. I'm not very interested. When all the kinds of gesticulations that would come from him would be such that the woman will be lured, will be deceived rather is the word, into thinking that the man is interested in her. And that is called implicit manipulation. I'm sure there would be so many women and even so many men who would have come across these kinds of people who would engage them in this kind of a manipulation technique, which is so distressing. This is so uncalled for. When you're not interested in someone, you should not actually give any kinds of gestures, give any kind of indications to the opposite party that there could be a chance of some kind of a relationship brewing between them. A very plain and simple categorical no. Have you met people who do not approach you directly ever? They approach you through different fake accounts on social networking sites. Have you met people who do not talk to you direct, but they tell their friends to indirectly speak to you about them so that you get carried away? and start thinking that that person is so interested in me, that that person is approaching me, following me through different people. And then when you approach the person says, I don't know you. I'm sure these kinds of manipulations have occurred. But rather than you getting manipulated, why don't you try the same with the person? Why don't you let the person think that you are getting carried away, and then at the end, when the person approaches you, just say no? Because it takes a lot of guts. Because you have liked the person, it takes a lot of courage to disagree, to say no, for the fear of losing the person. I have always stated, do not fear to lose the person. You lose the person, it's absolutely fine. But you cannot absolutely sacrifice your self respect, your integrity, and approach the person multiple times. Just to become insulted, just to get humiliated. Why do you do that? At times, I would say, test the person. Test the person with your humility. How far that individual can stoop down to, how far the individual can go. You will come to know actually. Try to avail the response from that individual, despite the fact that the individual is not giving you clarity. Forcefully send messages after messages, and then demand clarity. What do you feel about this relationship? What do you think our friendship exists or it does not? And the person will get irritated, and the person will reciprocate in the best way that you want, believe me. And that is clarity. If the person cares, the person will not be rude. If the person does not care, the person will be rude, and the person will shut down all the doors for you. This is the only way to get clarity with these kinds of nefarious people who otherwise become very sweet, who drain all the energy out of you, and then they put you in such a situation wherein you cannot get them out of your heads. I'm sure, folks, you would have come across these kinds of very villainous characters. We all come across these kinds of characters. Sometimes teachers are also like this. The student doesn't come to know whether the teacher is in the favor or not in favor. It's not only in love relationships that you come across these kinds of characters. So always be very sure of what kind of a person you are interacting with. For that surety, the first thing that you need to see is whether that person is in the giving nature or not, whoever that person is. It cannot be a one-way relationship. If it is not a two-way relationship, just shut it down. It's of no use. Don't give anybody more importance than what one actually deserves. There is nobody in this world who is so important to you that you just sacrifice all your self, all your identity, and just get merged with that individual in whatever way, whichever way he wants you to or she wants you to. No individual is that important in your life. Be very firm, be very stern. Now, the most important question that comes to me is, it's not easy to forget. How do we get them out of our heads? We have been manipulated for so many years. It was your fault that you got manipulated, if you have got manipulated. And isn't it your duty to improve the condition? Isn't it your duty to mend the way? Isn't it your duty to make sure that everything happens right in your life? Aren't you responsible for your own life? Do you want your own life to be totally rotten because of such characters? You have to get them out of your heads. How can they rule over your minds? I don't believe in any kind of possession. I feel that you have to believe in God. You have to try and forget these kinds of individuals by holding on to beautiful relationships that are there in your life that will enable you to come out of this tragedy that you are in. Man is a social animal. We need help. Ask for help. Sometimes people don't ask for help. That is also a very negative attribute. Don't you think that you are very courageous by not asking for help? If you really want help, talk to people. Talk to individuals and get help from them. Because the more you share, the better it is. The more you tell people what you're going through, what you have gone through, the better it is. People will understand you, and there would be a handful of those who will make sure that you come out of such tragic situations. I have met very good people in life. But I have told them that I need their help. And they have made sure that I come out of tragic situations. So it's my personal experience. There is no other way of coming out of such tragedies. You fail in life, you become frustrated, you get disillusioned, talk to people. Talk and share your sorrow. And sharing the sorrow eases the wounds. And that is the only way. If you don't talk, you just remain isolated, become a loner, everything in your life gets spoiled. You need to be vocal. You need to express your emotions. There was a poem that I studied, Home They Brought Her Warrior Dead, wherein a soldier's dead body is brought to his wife. She doesn't say anything. She does not utter a single word out of her mouth. And she's in such a shock. And the doctors say that if she does not cry, she does not express herself, she'll die. Everyone tries to make her cry. She doesn't cry. Then one old lady puts her 5-year-old child in her lap and she bursts out crying. And then the doctors say, now she's all right. So see, this is so important for somebody to express emotions. Don't just be isolated. Don't just have everything held in your hearts, because it's going to harm you at the end of the day. So when you want to come out of toxic relationships, relationships that don't serve you, relationships that have no meaning in your life, relationships that are just founded on the principle of unhealthy manipulation, of dragging you into a relationship, for making you a slave, please don't be one. Find out good people in your life who can help you to come out of it. These people who drag you forcefully into obeying them, into doing what they are saying, they are satanic actually. They take sadistic pleasure in the fact that you are giving them importance. They are narcissists. And is it so important to be with a narcissist? I think you are in dangerous hands, people. And finding out narcissists is also an art. I have spoken about it before. It's not easy to find out the true intentions of a person. That is why I'm telling you, there is only one way that you can find out a true intention, and that is see how much the person selflessly sacrifices oneself for you. They can make a show of sacrificing also. That is also true. But selfless sacrifices cannot be just done that way. They have something to lose. And if they are ready to lose some important and integral part of their lives for you and for your sake, that means they are genuine people. Trust me on that. So please be good, do good, and spread goodness in this world. Thank you.